I'm honestly starstruck, you guys. I'm sitting next to a literal icon. Not only is she the greatest performer of all time, but she is an advocate, a director, she's educated, and a huge influence on me personally. Welcome to the show, Angela White. Angela, welcome. My client booked the most. Get ready with. Oh my God, you guys. Let's do a pack my bag.
Wow, thank you for that amazing introduction. I'm so happy to be here.
You look so stunning.
Thank you, as do you.
Thank you. I actually got you a little present to say thank you for coming on the pod.
Wow. This is so exciting.
So I've been following your space journey.
Oh my gosh.
And
yes.
I saw that you recently did zero gravity training.
Yes.
So I thought there could be no one more perfect to film the first scene in space.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
I photoshopped your head onto that. I did that, okay? And can you read out what it says?
One small step for man, one giant load for mankind. That's amazing.
I know.
Thank you
You're
so much.
so welcome. I thought someone's going to give you a little gift now that you're back in Australia. Now, for those who are probably thinking, what are we talking about? Can you please explain why, like, where did this idea to film in space come from, and what it was like experiencing zero gravity for the first time?
Well, my dream scene is to shoot in space. That's just, I've always wanted to have sex in zero gravity. Obviously, that is kind of an unrealistic dream, but that's what dreams are for, right? So I decided to do the zero gravity experience. So I went on the same flights that they use to train NASA astronauts to get them ready for zero gravity. So they do these parabolas where you get moments of actual weightlessness. And it was such an incredible experience.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What do you think your first ever, like, so if you happen to go to space and film a scene, what would be your first scene? Because I would think, like, you know, a blow would be like too messy, but then I saw you like eating the little droplets of water. I was like, okay, maybe that's what you're aiming for.
Well, the cut shot in zero gravity would be spectacular because you can see on the videos that I posted, the droplets just stay in perfect, like, spherical little droplets. Yeah. So imagine a blow and me just floating around.
I can picture it now, honestly.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you.
I mean, realistically, it would be better to try just a regular boy-girl scene first, because it is going to be difficult to have sex in space, or in zero gravity at least, because every time a man thrusts into you, he's going to kind of push you away. So if we were to do it, we'd actually have to do it in some kind of harness to stay together.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it's already like hard enough for a male to like shoot a scene, let alone in space.
Well, this is another reason why it's unrealistic, because it's actually more difficult to maintain an erection in zero gravity because the blood is rushing up. So there's a lot of things that make it more complicated. Again, why it's a little bit of an unrealistic dream, but hey, I'm still reaching for the stars.
You've achieved basically everything there is to achieve for a porn performer on Earth. So if
you're like, now I know how to
now you need to go to
the next frontier.
I mean, someone's got to do it with you. I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
All right.
On the beck and call.
And just think of the weight off your literal shoulders. Like, your boobs just float. It's, The craziest thing is coming back into gravity, like Earth's gravity, because you feel so heavy. It's wild. Like, just trying to stand up in Earth's gravity after experiencing microgravity is insane.
Yeah, I cannot imagine. That's incredible.
Boobs just so heavy after that.
So this is officially our first meet, but we did come close once at Melbourne Sexpo a few years back, and it was just packed to the brim. I was just like admiring you from afar, but like it was pretty much like 5,000 guys walking around with like giant hard-ons just waiting to meet you. So like, what was it like just meeting fans in general? Like, do you love it, or is it a bit overwhelming?
No, I love it. My fans really are the sweetest, most respectful, lovely fans. So I love going to conventions and meeting fans, and just, it's so nice to hear about like what their favorite scene is. And, you know, I love meeting them.
I love meeting fans too, but a lot of mine are girls. So I was like, I wonder how it's like meeting a lot of guy fans.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of female fans too, but I noticed at the conventions, it's usually men and couples.
Yes.
They come together, the couples come together, which is nice, which I love.
It was funny. I was there and I did meet one of your fans, and He was so excited to meet you. He literally got a tattoo of your face on his chest.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And with your name written under it. I was going to say, did he, please tell me he met you?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did meet me.
Oh my gosh. Is that like normal? Like guys getting tattoos on you? I feel like.
Yes, a lot of people get my logo because it's quite discreet. I mean, he went all the way with my face on his chest. But yeah, this is like something that a lot of the fans get just because it's very discreet.
Yeah, they don't have to explain it.
Exactly. I mean, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
That you could wear it out in public and no one's going to be like, oh, look at that gooner.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's really sweet when they get my logo or get me tatted on them. That's
so incredible. Like you could just tell he was just like his life mission was to meet you. So he was just so excited. And I'm sure there's many more out there that are just dying to meet you. I know you're like so passionate about everything you do in your work. Like not only are you an amazing performer, but director, editing, everything. You do it all. You're like, you own a lot of hats in the main.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, where did that all start for you?
I mean, I've wanted to be in since I was quite young, and obviously I waited till I was 18, but during that time I did a lot of research on the industry and who I wanted to shoot for and what I wanted to achieve. And so as soon as I turned 18, I flew to Miami and did my first scene.
That is insane. You just had it in your head, locked in your head. I was like,
well, so I was a very sexual teen and I was criticized for expressing that sexuality. So I was bullied. I was labeled a slut. It wasn't, everybody deemed my sexuality to be inappropriate. So porn was the first space I saw women being celebrated for expressing and exploring their sexuality. And also porn was the first media where I saw girls with my body type being celebrated. And, you know, it was a big deal for me like in the late 90s, early 2000s, because at that time we didn't have body positivity.
No, it was very like skinny, trendy.
It was very skinny. Like Girlfriend and Dolly was all stick, skinny models, beautiful girls, but there was no representation of curvy women. And so porn was the only media that I saw where curvy women were celebrated.
Yeah, that's so true. You moved from Australia to LA.
Yeah.
What was that experience like moving from such a small place to like the big smoke?
It was really incredible, and it really did so much for my career as well. There's just so many opportunities in Los Angeles, and so many of the biggest creators live in LA. And then I signed with the biggest agency, which is Spiegler Girls, which propelled my career. And just being based in LA and being able to direct and produce while being there is just an incredible experience.
And what's like a day in the life for you, like on a porn set? Because I know like for me, I started out like on OnlyFans. It was very much like amateur and like, you know, we bring our own lighting and we do our own like shoots. So like it was a shock for me, like a surprise that mainstream on like it was just so professional.
Yeah.
Like everything was just down to the wire. And I was shocked. I was like, whoa, I'm not used to this because I'm so used to like this amateur filming.
People think it's the wild, wild west, but in fact, the industry is very corporate and very professional and it's very scheduled. Yeah. So for example, when I shoot for Brazzers, which is the biggest company in the world, the company that I'm contracted with right now, I'll even before we shoot the scene, we've already done negotiations on what I'm shooting, who I'm shooting with, the wardrobe. I've approved the script. So there's a lot that goes on before I even turn up to set. And then you turn up to set on time. That's what people don't realize. And people also think that porn is shot late at night, but no, you're in the makeup chair at 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah. You've
got hair and makeup for 2 hours. Then you've got to do your paperwork. You've got to do your 2257s. You've got to prove that you're over 18. Doesn't matter how many times you shoot. You have to prove that you're over 18 every single time you shoot. Then we go through a boundary checklist with our on-screen performer, which is where we go through all the acts that we're willing to do and all of our hard no's and the things that we might want to try but within these boundaries. And we have a talent assistant, a talent liaison on set that goes through those boundaries with the performers, and they are our advocate on set. So they're there to watch the scene, and if at any point they feel like one of our boundaries may have been crossed, they're there to cut, check in on everyone, make sure everyone's okay. So there's a lot of misconceptions about, you know, what it is like to be on a porn set, but there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of compliance, a lot of professionalism. Yeah. And after we've gotten through all the paperwork, there's the, you know, the preparation, the
I was going to say, what's your prep?
Oh, yeah. So my prep starts the day before. It's really important what I eat the day before so that then I can be completely clean the next day.
Yeah.
Because on an day, you don't know if you're going to be on set for 6 hours or 12 hours. So you have to make sure that you are completely empty during that whole time.
You don't want any mess coming
Nothing.
out.
So I mean, every body is different. Like literally every person's body is different. So people have to figure out what their transit time is. And the transit time is how long it takes for your food to go from your mouth through your digestive system and out. Because if you don't know your transit time, you don't know when you can eat safely.
Wow, so you're fully scheduled.
Fully scheduled. So the best way, actually Phoenix Marie told me this, the best way to figure out your transit time is to eat a bunch of corn, because corn doesn't fully digest.
So you can see it.
So okay, if you're eating corn at 6 p.m., you take a note, be like, okay, I'm going to check when I use the bathroom, what time does it come out? And that transit time could change based on a number of factors. It could change based on the fact if you have your period. It could change if you're stressed or if you're taking certain medications. So you have to learn your body, but it'll give you a general idea of, oh, okay, does it usually take 8 hours for my food to fully digest, 12 hours? For women, it's usually actually longer than men. For men, it's often like around 8 hours. For women, it can be up to 12 hours. So I give myself like leeway because I always want to be clean on set. So I'm always like, okay, 12 hours before I'm cleaning out, not before the scene, but 12 hours before I'm cleaning out, I am not eating a thing. Nothing.
Yeah.
I am fasting, which isn't that long to fast. It's not that bad. But even before those 12 hours, so the day before, I'll eat a normal breakfast, a normal-ish lunch. I say normal-ish because I'm not going to eat a salad because salads are really hard. Like lettuce is very difficult to
it's
clean
more like
up.
fiber, like a lot of fiber vegetables. And
Like for me, I can handle like protein and broccoli, for example. That does well for me. But you can't do kale because kale kind of curls up in your intestines and it's hard to get out. You don't want to do a lot of nuts. At that point, you're not doing corn. Yeah. Once you're doing anal, that's just for the transit test. You're not doing corn the day before.
Yes.
And then the night of, I'll either eat nothing or I'll do like a chicken, like a broth.
Okay.
Like so
just liquid.
Just liquid, just to satiate myself because you don't want to starve. Maybe a protein shake, but liquid. And then the morning of, I will enema. I'll clean out. I usually take a good hour just to like make sure I'm fully clean.
Yeah.
And then I don't usually eat anything until right before the scene because once we're about to start, you're going to eat that. You're going to be finished the scene in an hour. There's no way it's going to digest. So if I'm really hungry before then, maybe I'll have a little protein bar or a nut butter or something like that. But yeah, I might eat a little bit before the scene. I say a little bit because you don't want to eat a lot and then actually be heavy. It's not fun to have food in your stomach while you're having.
And then what's your go-to food after the scene? Because obviously you haven't eaten for like the last 2 days. So you're like, are you just ravenous or?
I am, but I learnt my lesson. I actually have to go quite easy on the first meal back.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember so after my first gangbang, after my first gangbang, I was ravenous because I starved myself for too long because that was, I was still learning my body and still figuring out. So it was a much longer fasting period. And so I was so ravenous afterwards that I decided I'm going to get a big, rich meal. Like I got the steak and the sweet potatoes and the dessert, I ate everything. And I've never felt more sick in my life. Because if you're that empty, your stomach can't really handle something that rich. So my go-to is I think your go-to should be whatever you normally eat. So I'm a salmon and broccoli girl. My stomach's very used to salmon and broccoli. So after an anal scene, I'm like, okay, give me my salmon and broccoli. It is rich and fatty, but my body's very used to that. Yep. So that's my go-to.
You know your schedule.
Exactly.
So is it that extensive in your personal life, or is it just more like a scene? And in your personal life, do you do that routine as well or not?
I do, but it's just a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, because in your personal life, you're
it's not work, right?
Yeah, I'm on set for 12 hours sometimes. Like if I'm going to have in my personal life, I'm probably going to be done in 30 minutes. So I don't
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to do so much preparation. And especially when your diet is good and you have a lot of fiber, you can tell when you're empty. You might do a little enema, but you don't need to
go
spend an hour cleaning out. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah, that's what I tell my girls on TikTok as well. Yeah. It's just like, and, you know, be with someone that's going to be okay if there is a little bit of mess. You know, it's not a big deal at the end of the day. I mean, on set it's completely different.
It's a different thing.
You know, if you're with your partner, like he should be okay with a little bit if it gets to that eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know my friend Girth Master?
I know him very well.
I was like, I'm interviewing Angela White, and I was like, can you tell me a story? Like, what's a story from you guys? Tell me a little something about. So he sent me this voice note.
Hey Angela,
Hi.
long-time listener, first-time caller.
He's such a
I think my favorite memory with Angela, or like one of the funniest things I think about, is when she took my sounding virginity. Like she put a pinky finger down my. Because we were shooting our first scene, everything's going great. And I said something like, slide your finger up my, because she's trying to get it out. And she turns to me and she's like, did you say put my finger in your? And I thought to myself, I've never had a finger in my before, but if I ever do have a finger in my, I want it to be Angela's.
Hell yeah.
So she did. It was a lot of fun. And as soon as the scene was done, I like sent a screenshot to the boys in the group chat. Like, guess what, boys? Angela put a finger in my.
Yeah, I did.
That is
put
so
my
funny.
Pinky
I was going to say, what finger was it?
The pinky.
The pinky.
And also, like, I had a long nail, so it wasn't like I stuck my whole finger in. It was just more of like the pinky, like nail and a little bit of the.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think just anything he would be like happy with. You know, like I think anyone would be pinky finger in the we'll do it.
I mean, he seemed to like it.
You have a degree in gender studies with honors.
Yes.
So I get a lot of, I guess sometimes get negative comments about like how, you know, porn can be degrading to women, and I guess like with your degree, like how would you respond to those sort of comments?
Oh, that's such an old argument.
You get this a lot.
Like, what do you mean? What is degrading to me? Well, is sex degrading to women? Because if sex isn't degrading to women, then why is it degrading to film it?
100%.
I just don't understand.
Why is it always women that get that question, you know? Like it's never the male co-workers.
No, it's always male performers never get asked, do you feel degraded?
Yeah.
Do you feel exploited? Are you okay? Did you not have any other options?
Yeah.
Like, are you really traumatized and that's why you've chosen this profession? Men do not get asked that question.
It's crazy to me, like, because I'll ask male co-workers and they'll never have an issue, like a lot of the time, they'll never have an issue with like their family. They're like accepting of them doing. And like my female co-workers, it's always like, oh, my family disowned me, or like no one's like this one's talking to me. So it's just like, why do you think that is? Like, why is there such a like stigma behind females but not so much males?
Well, there's still so much double standard when it comes to what men and women do and what is deemed acceptable for men and women to do. And also like for women to have an empowered sexuality. And I do think it has gotten better, but those old feelings of like, oh, women who are in the sex industry in general are exploited. Like how, and it's this idea like, how could a woman possibly like sex enough to be able to do that as a profession?
Yeah, it's still a very male-dominated world, unfortunately.
But at least like in porn, it is quite female-dominated. It's women that have all the power. It's the women that make more money.
I guess when you first started, was it like, has it gone through a huge movement, or like was it the same sort of when you started, or has it changed over time?
I would say it has gotten even more professional and more corporate. So those boundary checklists that I spoke about, they weren't a thing. Weren't a thing back then. So you did have to use your voice. I never had any issues because I've always been someone who's very clear about my desires, about what I will do, what I won't do, what I want, what I don't want. So every time I would get on set, I would just say, okay, these are my hard no's, like everything else is on the table. You know, what is it that you like? And that's one question that I would always ask like a female or male performer that I'd be working with is, what do you like? Because in the end, when it comes to shooting a scene, I want to actually give that person pleasure, not only because it's more fun work if you're both coming, but also because that's what resonates for fans. Like that's what they want to see. Yeah, they don't want to see like robotic sex. They don't want to see sex it's unfeeling. They want to see people truly enjoying themselves.
Totally. People always ask me, like, you know, what do you recommend, like getting into the industry, things like that, especially with like in-person work that I do as well. And I always just make sure, I'm like, if you are going to do this, like you have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because even if, you know, the scene's going great or like the work's going great, you know, in your mind, if you're not happy, you're like, you're going to regret it down the line.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of have that in you that you really want to be passionate about this work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will eventually catch up to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can see like with your work, how much you just absolutely love it. And it's just like your baby.
But see,
you know?
that it's the same with any profession, though. I understand that this industry gets treated differently because we're having and there's so much shame and stigma around sexuality. But if you're doing any job, some 9-to-5 job that you hate waking up to have to go to this job every day, it does suck the soul out of you. So it's really like any job that you decide to get into, you really need to, I mean, hopefully love what you do, or at least not hate it. I understand people have to go to work and make money, but at the very least not hate it.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of discussion online about teenagers and porn. What would you recommend like parents teach their kids about safety online in the industry, considering a lot of their knowledge comes from porn or their friends who watch porn?
Yeah. Well, firstly, adult entertainment is made by adults for adults. So people under the age of 18 shouldn't be consuming the content. It's not made for them. Obviously, we can't control everything, but it's not adult performers' responsibility, right, to educate kids or teenagers on what sex is. Like, you don't watch Fast and the Furious to learn how to drive. You don't watch porn to learn how to have sex. So it really is the responsibility of parents to make sure that their teenagers have age-appropriate porn literacy. So you need to teach your kids about sex. You can't just leave them in the dark, because they are going to at some point find porn or be exposed to porn by their friends. So I really feel like parents need to take responsibility for that. Unfortunately, sex education, for the most part, doesn't really teach us much apart from like about the reproductive organs. So parents need to take responsibility when it comes to putting like safety measures in place so that they can't access it at home. There's a lot of different like locks that they can put on web browsers and stuff, so that then it's harder for them to access it. But then also, like, you teach kids that a horror movie isn't real.
That's right.
You've got to teach kids that pornography is a fantasy.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment, and it's created for adults, and it's not something that you're trying to emulate.
I feel like people are so quick to, you know, blame the porn performers or the porn industry, but I feel like it comes back to that shame around sex, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we just talk to our kids more about what it is, and like, you know, it's not real, like but it's sex and it's okay. And, you know, just bring it back to just having a healthy conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, rather than, because they're going to watch it anyway. So it's like, you might as well talk to them about it.
We can hope that they don't, but
yeah. So I heard you ran in the state election for the Australian Sex Party. Like, how did that come about?
Well, Fiona Patton asked me to run because
Okay.
Kathleen Maltzon was running for the Greens Party, and she was running on an anti-sex work campaign. So she wanted to shut down all the brothels in Melbourne. And my job wasn't to win the seat. Honestly, if I'd won the seat, I wouldn't know what to do. So thank goodness I didn't actually win. But my job was to bring awareness to the fact that Kathleen Maltzon was running on this anti-sex work platform. Also for the Greens Party, that's generally very progressive. So that was kind of an odd
surprising
choice. And so my job was to try and take votes away from her and to draw awareness. And I achieved that. She did not win the seat. So that was a success.
Okay, because I was like, did you debate anyone? Because I feel like if you debated your opponents, I feel like you would smoke them, right?
Oh, thanks.
Like,
I did okay. I did my best.
And I don't know if this is true or false, but apparently I saw that you made a video with one of the candidates. Is that true?
Oh, yes, with Zara Stardust. We were the first
Wow.
two political candidates to do a sex scene together, to do a porn scene. Yeah.
Wow. What did you guys do?
We did like a lesbian scene, basically.
Hot,
yeah,
hot.
some strap-on. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, hot.
Nice. I love that. I was going to ask, I saw online that you had your own position, the Angela position.
Oh.
What is it?
It's hard to explain. Okay, so basically it's a position that's really good for POV. So most traditional, the guy will lay down and then the woman is like coming over like this, and like it hurts your back because all the weight of your tits, especially when you have tits this big, is like it's very painful. It's also very weird. It's a very weird look on camera because your face is kind of straining and then the veins are popping out of your face, and also your forehead is warping if they've got a wide angle on. It's just terrible. So the Angela, I didn't one of my co-performers dubbed it. He's like, "You're the only person that does this. This is the Angela." So I sit down on my knees and I get the male performer to put his legs over my lap.
Okay.
So then I'm sitting up straight instead of doing this,
Hunching,
looking weird, hurting my back, destroying the light. So I'm up straight. His legs are over my lap like that, and so he's perfectly in between my tits. So then I'm able to just bounce my boobs without any bending over, and it looks spectacular.
Okay, and where's the camera? Is this like pointing down?
So if he's laying down, the camera will be where his head is.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's such a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets that big head out of there.
Exactly.
Straight to the point.
Exactly. Perfect lighting, perfect. And obviously you look better when you're sitting up straight and your shoulders are back. So the girl, me, I look better. The dick looks perfect because you're not obstructing the view. The lighting is great. It's the perfect view for the fan.
There's so much that goes into it. Hey,
Yeah.
I feel like you would get so many DMs about like people asking you, how do I get in the industry? I'm like, it's not easy.
No, it's difficult. Well, especially for men.
Yeah.
It is a lot more difficult for a man to get into the industry than it is a woman. They have a very hard job. And I mean that literally.
Literally staying hard for like 12 hours a day and then getting the perfect shot. Like, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Especially when you're in front of like a hot girl, you're like choke up. You know? I mean, I can see you're obviously so passionate about everything in your work, you know, directing, producing, editing. Do you ever think that you would like perform or like produce a non-adult movie?
No.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I've been on mainstream sets where there's no sex.
Okay.
And it's just not as fun because there's a lack of sex.
Yeah. You're like, I just live and breathe sex. That's all I want. Like,
I don't think I'd produce or direct a mainstream film without sex. If the right opportunity came along, I would consider acting in one, but it would have to be the right opportunity.
the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. And involve some sex.
Well, that would be preferable. Yeah.
I guess your DMs would probably be so crazy. Like, is there anyone that you have just been starstruck by?
Yes.
Even in LA? Like,
Yes.
I bet everyone's messaged you. Like,
Well, celebrities watch too.
that's it.
So your favorite celebrity is also watching the same you are. So they're also sliding into
DMs.
exactly.
Have you ever pursued that or a few times?
Be a little
When the
sly
time
on
is
that
right. A few NDAs under that, but it's okay. We'll go on, move on. So have you got any squirting tips for the girlies? Because the girlies love to know how to squirt.
Relax.
Yes.
Relax. Don't worry about if you feel like you're going to pee. Just relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's
I feel like
relaxing.
it took me so long just to like get out of my own head.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit ADHD, so I struggle to focus. But it took me so long to just be like, just let go.
Yes.
Just do it, you know?
Absolutely.
And just, so how would you sort of recommend girls who have never done it before? Have you got any tips for them?
I would actually say also don't even worry about it. There's this sort of almost obsession right now about, I have to learn how to squirt. I must squirt. Not everybody squirts. Like, don't put pressure on your body to squirt if it's just not what your body does. If you're coming and having and you're not squirting, who cares?
That.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah, just focus on pleasure. That's what I would focus on.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Plus, it's like there's already so much pressure on women when it comes to sex. Like, why add another thing? You know, obviously.
So true.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to learn how to squirt, obviously the relaxation, but also don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah. Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the pressure out
and then
of
it's
it.
more likely to happen.
Yeah. Have you had any weird requests in your DMs?
I get a little bit of everything. A little bit of femdom, a little bit of foot stuff. Obviously, a lot of big boob worship requests.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting ones is the shrinking fetish. Guys wanting to be shrunk and eaten.
Giantess.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, I've had that before. It's so fun. Like, can you describe a time where you've done that?
So what I do when I don't always do customs, but when I've done them in the past, I will like hold the camera at face height. So it's like they're standing up, and then as I shrink them, I will slowly pull the camera down until they're on the floor, so that their perspective is like I am a giantess. So it gives them the idea that I have shrunk them, and then some of them want to be eaten, so I'll pick them back up and basically put the phone camera in my mouth like
Do you ever use like a little toy? Because I had a guy once, he sent me like a little figurines and like a little house, and I had to like peek through the window like I'm this giant woman. I know, I found it really sweet. Those are my favorite customs to do because I just love like the creativity. I'm like,
I did a
where
Lego
did you think
one.
of this?
I did a Lego one. They have like the Lego men, but then they also have the Lego skeletons. So what I did was I hid the Lego skeleton. This was hard to do. I hid the Lego skeleton under my tongue, and so I grabbed the Lego man and I put him in my mouth and then I pulled out the Lego skeleton, so it looked like I'd just eaten all the flesh.
That is so funny.
That's probably the most creative I've gotten at a custom.
So I love talking to you, but I know you're a busy little chookie. So I just wanted to end on like something where I ask you a few questions and you say if it's hot or not.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we?
It's in between.
I feel like it's very debated.
It's very
it sounds
debated.
hot,
yeah.
but then it's quite uncomfortable.
My gut was like, it's hot. Like, it's hot. But like, then I'm
When
like,
you
the
really think of
reality is, the idea of it is hot. And then you get in there and it's not quite as hot.
Yes, yeah. I feel like comfort for me is key. So I would rather just be in bed and just going at it than like thinking angles.
I end up with water in my ear.
Yeah.
That's my...
And you're getting your hair wet and your makeup off. And
that I don't mind so much, but the water in the ear is a no-go.
Okay, guys moaning during...
Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot.
Okay.
Super hot.
Yeah, so the more vocal, the better for
Better.
you.
Yes, I love it.
Because I feel like guys sometimes they're quite scared to open up and, express themselves.
I love it when they let it all out. I love when they're just
well, you know that they're into it. You know that they're enjoying it.
Especially when they come, if they're just like grunting and huffing and puffing and moaning. Yeah.
That gets you going.
Yeah.
Role play, hot or cringe?
Hot. Cringe, never cringe.
Yeah, I guess it depends what it is though, I guess.
No, there's nothing cringe in the bedroom. I think that it's a great place to explore.
So the more creative, the better for
you.
Starting with...
Well, in it's hot.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. What do you mean by starting with...
Just straight in there. I guess not much foreplay,
I think it's hot in... in like my personal life, I want some foreplay.
Yeah. Okay.
Like even if I do straight to A in, I've definitely been the guy off screen beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've definitely already had foreplay. The camera just hasn't captured it.
Yeah. Because it's not something that you just go straight in.
Yeah. It's like it's very dramatic for porn, right? It's just it's a cool idea. Like, oh my god, like I just shoved the right in the eye. But the reality is,
So this is for the guys listening at home.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Well, yeah, if I'm doing straight to A in porn, not only have I done all the prep that I've talked about, but right before the scene, I've stretched myself out anally with a toy in the bathroom. So I've done it slowly myself. And then I've told my male partner, hey, come here, I need to stretch out on your that is going to be a different size and shape.
Exactly.
To the dildo
You
I've
feel
used.
it out.
So I've already stretched out on a toy by myself on that I'm about. And then by the time we get into the scene, I'm warmed up.
Yeah. So
sorry to break the but that's the reality. It's actually not a good idea to go like straight in without warm up unless you're very experienced, because you don't want to tear.
No, you don't want to tear anything, and that's just going to cause problems down the track. Probably.
Once you get very experienced, you do kind of have muscle memory, and so you
know
could
what's coming.
Potentially do it. But I still recommend. I still stretch regardless because I'm like, it's not worth getting a tear.
Totally.
Yeah.
So not hot, I guess.
Hot in porn with caveats. Like,
yeah. What about remming? Are you into
hot?
Hot.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah, that's hot. Piercings.
Oh, they look hot, but honestly, I don't like the way they feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I've only had sex with one guy with dick piercing, and it like scraped Like it was scraping.
You don't want
inside.
anything external. Like there was a guy once that I dated who had like internal like little implants. They were like
okay.
ribbed, but they
That
were
could be cool.
inside. They weren't on the outside.
Yeah, so the
feel
guy
like
had
outside
sex,
would-
it was outside and it really, I could feel it scraping inside and it just wasn't.
No.
Maybe some girls really like it. My was just more sensitive and I didn't like it.
Yeah, okay. What about asking you to call him daddy?
Hot.
Hot? You love saying daddy?
Yeah.
He takes charge and orders food for you at a restaurant.
The only time I'm okay with that is if we're going to a restaurant that he's recommended, that he's been to 1,000 times, that he's like, you have to try this, you have to try that, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
But otherwise, I am my own woman.
Yeah, exactly. You have your own taste.
Yeah. Do you think it's hot or not?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I was like, but you're right. Like if it was, in a good environment where they've like picked the restaurant, they know the food, then yes. But like someone who's just trying to like control the situation, not so much.
No.
Not
I mean,
so much.
even with a friend, if like you invited me to a restaurant, you're like, I love this restaurant, you've got to try this. I'm trusting you.
Yeah.
I'm trusting you.
What about like, do you get many guys coming up to you like in public, or are they like quite like intimidated by you? Like, do you get guys hitting on you? Or?
I get more guys in LA doing it than in Australia.
But I feel like that's so like, because when I went to LA, I was just getting bombarded from guys, and I've like, you don't experience that in Australia as much because everyone's quite closed off.
I think American men are very bold and they just shoot their shot. And I think a lot of Australian men are a little more shy, I guess, or reserved. I still get Australian men coming up to me. It's just, I get more of the like double takes from Australian men. And
like, should I go up to you?
Yeah. And not as many actual approaches. Whereas in America, like men will just come up to you anywhere.
They do.
Yeah.
It's quite a shock. It was like, oh, whoa. Like, you just don't get that in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly like New York and Miami I found where they were really forward, but like a little bit in LA, but mainly those two. I was like, whoa, this is a lot.
Yeah. Well, get a lot of options.
A little bit, yeah. It was fun. Well, Angela, thank you so much for coming on. You've done an incredible job with just like destigmatizing the industry for sex workers. So thank you so much. And I hope you had fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
And until next time.
See you soon.
Bye.